Yay, somebody's here.
Hey, Gina.
How are you?
Good. I accidentally logged into the wrong Zoom.
There was a different Zoom?
Well, on my calendar,
Oh,
I have the
yeah.
Zoom link in the thing, and I was on the wrong day. I was in a Gary's Monday night one.
Oh, gotcha. I was
I was
like,
like, "There's no one here." I was like, "Oh,
I'm by myself today. So I literally was like, wait, because I know Ava gets these and she cuts off the beginning. And I'm like, oh, Ava, I hope you have a good day.
right, right."
I don't know what else to say. I don't have anybody here. So how the heck are you today?
So I wrote my resignation letter.
For
So
NARAB or
for
for the,
NARAB,
okay,
yeah, for NARAB.
okay,
After I had to inform them of the parliamentary procedures,
you're right.
so I'm feeling very good about it. So I addressed it to the board, all board, because it's a board
Good,
decision.
good.
And several board members have reached back out to me saying what happened.
So I was on a board at our realtor association in San Francisco, and they pulled some really nasty crap. And so I did a resignation letter, and I named exactly what it was. Boom, boom, boom. It's professional, but I went through and named it all. And I walked into the meeting and I had it with me. And as soon as they took roll call, I said, I have something for you. And I handed out the paper letter to every single person. And then I said goodbye. And that was pretty much it. I mean, I think I don't even know if I sat there while they read it. I don't think I did. I think I handed out,
Right.
but I wanted every single person to know this is what's going on. And it caused this big, huge ruckus. And the two people, one of them got popped anyway for something like child molestation later, like really soon right after that. And a big, huge scandal because this was a big name, right? And the other one got removed, like they got removed immediately. And then this one got in all kinds of trouble for some other stuff. And it was like, I went to the, I told her what's going on, nothing. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. So, okay. So you've had a couple reach out, and sorry, I hijacked your story.
Yeah, no. You shared. It's part of the, so let me know. It's not just me. Like, shit happens all over the place. People are incompetent all over the world.
Yeah.
So I was driving and I saw it pop through, and I just saw the two words, "What happened?" And I strategically did it before their board meeting. They have an official board meeting today at 11:30.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna
we wrote a letter of resignation to the NARAB board for the crap they've done, and she was removed. I'm going to give them a tiny bit. You give them background. It's your story.
So I find out Friday that I was being relieved of my duties as vice president with no clarification as to why. I know, kind of like in my gut, but no official. And I asked for something in writing, never was given it. They're so disorganized that I had to follow up yesterday. I'm like, don't you need something in writing from me? Because it was an elected position. They're like, no. I was like, okay. You know, and I had that in writing, you know, because it was and then they come back, they're like, oh, we do. Sorry for the confusion. So then I get a formal email saying, hey, per the board's decision on Friday, please submit your resignation or the matter will get taken to membership. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't even know why. If I did something wrong, nobody would tell me. I'm like, whatever. So I wrote a very high, I went high. And instead of just copying the president of the organization and one board member, I copied the entire board because it's a board decision.
Yeah.
Good.
Officially, I know what happened. She bulldozed it through, but I'm gonna let that's their shit to sit in. Like, if they're gonna let her do that, then they need to handle that. That's not my. I've been on enough boards. So anyway, several of the board members reached back out to me and said, "What happened?" So there was not a board meeting, but there is an emergency board meeting. So I strategically did it right before the official board meeting. That is today at 11.
Very good.
So you know, and I said this organization is not about one individual. It's bigger than me. It's for the benefit of the community as a whole. I respect your authority as, you know, fiduciary checks and balances for the organization. I will continue to be a part of the organization and further its mission, just not in this capacity.
Good for you.
But I wouldn't say kiss my ass, but you know. In fact, I want to say kiss my yellow ass.
There you go.
Wow. Sorry that happened.
Yep, and congratulations. And did you get it, PF? Did you get it? Awesome.
Yes. I have random fruit flies. I don't know why. So
I get so pissed off when we bring something in and it brings those. There's a thing that Greg got. Okay, fruit flies. Fruit flies, if you leave a tiny bit of red wine in a glass, actual fruit flies will be attracted to that. And then you will wake up and they will be drunk and that's fine. So that's fruit flies. And then there's another bug in Florida that's not a fruit fly. I could care less about wine. And we got something that it works at night with a black light, and they apparently can't, you know, I don't know, it's like a disco hall to them or whatever, but that takes care of those. But it comes in on, you buy a piece of fruit or something, and then they come in and you're just like, you know. So anyway,
yeah.
there's some good news going around.
So okay, sorry, I don't mean to hijack. So at the commercial mastermind yesterday, Gary said he needed developers. And I said, do they have to be in Pittsburgh? He said, absolutely not. So I've already got a response. He sent it last night, and I sent it on to one of the developers I have a contact with. He's evaluating it now. He's excited.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so, he's like impressed, you know, because Gary's done this before. It had the whole proposal. I forgot how many pages it was. So he's evaluating it and taking it to his team this morning.
Cool.
And then I have another one that's going to look at it today. And the other one is getting ready. The one that's building the Titan Stadium is getting ready to go to Europe. So I'm going to send it to him as well.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice. All right, let's hear some more good news.
And I'm working on a deal with Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So I talked to her. I will talk to her we have a meeting at 10 this morning, Bree. So yeah, I think it's at 10. So I have another property under contract. Well, hopefully. I think we'll agree to the terms. And it's just a small one, but for an investor. And it was off market. The other the seller actually, after we were interested in it, she got a realtor, which is her cousin, involved. So which is fine, but hopefully we can agree on terms today and we'll officially have it under contract. So that's exciting. And this guy that the buyer, he and we grew up together, and he's buying properties, and So we're looking at maybe doing some stuff down the line together. Picking up some properties and, I don't know. I'm exploring right now. So I want some properties this year. And Kay and I, we actually talked about something as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
I love that. I love the whole point of building the nationwide team was for this. It's literally from this. I got stuff going on here and here and here. Where's my boots on the ground and who wants to collaborate with it? Have you guys ever played the cash flow board game? You ever played that Rich Dad
I
Poor
need
Dad?
to. I want to with
No.
my kids.
Yeah, it'd be good with your kids, especially.
I need to grab it.
The thing that I love about that game is I'm a game aficionado and I love games. And I specifically like games where you kill off the other people and then you win. Those are my very favorite.
Really?
I know it's such a stretch. But that game, you can't kill off the other people. And there's nobody to
Oh.
do it. And it taught me such a valuable lesson. And I would love to say that I learned that lesson at 25, but I learned it when I was the team leader in Fremont, which means somewhere in between 2014 and 2018. So not that dang long ago. But that's what the team was built for, was that collaboration. So that's way cool. So,
Oh.
let's hear some more good news before I call on you. Yep. Oh, no, Kathy's got her mouth open. That means she's thinking, talking, breathing.
I'm working on vision board.
Congratulations. Nice thing. It's a good first place to start. Yeah.
Oh, I'll be more short and tell. I'll be back in a minute. Next person.
Tell.
Catching fruit flies.
And I just realized that he's got Pedro F down there. That's very, very cool. Liz or Christopher, who are in the dark today? Going once, going twice. Christopher. KPS.
Nothing new. Just trying to move the ball down the field still. So nothing new.
Trying to do what, so sweetie?
Just work on with that investor, trying to get him figured out. I might have picked up another investor. So things are moving. Just that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. And you always have good news. There's always good news. Sometimes we just got to look really hard for it. But it's okay. Liz,
Yep,
I saw.
baby steps are still good.
Yes,
Yep.
they are.
Yep. I saw your mute go off.
Yes, I am progressing along in my goals and vision. This exercise has been particularly interesting this year because it's brought me, in the many iterations that I'm doing, it's bringing me more clarity, but I am putting a hard stop on it like after next weekend because I could probably do this for a long time. Keep clarifying. But I had a real good experience that kind of opened up my mind into other places to be looking for, the affordable housing opportunities that I'm trying to service. So that was good. And in working with my sister's property questions down there in Florida, I don't know why Florida seems to be like popping up on the radar all of a sudden. Every conversation I've had to seems to involve Florida, and I know nothing about Florida, so I'll be reaching out to people trying to figure out all the things. But that's been interesting as well. I am scheduled to go down to Miami in early March to kind of review things with her property, but who knows? I don't have any idea what I'm getting into down there, so I guess I'm kind of curious and excited, ? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. So I'm a little nervous and curious all at the same time.
Cool.
If you Google that address, Liz,
I'm sorry.
if you Google that address that you gave me,
Yeah.
it'll show you what the area looks like.
Yeah. I mean, it looks from Google and everything, it looks great. I need to get, I think I identified, and Gina, I'll probably circle back to you on this on Wednesday on our call. And is it Angela Davis or Andrea Davies?
Andrea Davis.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking at Sarasota County. So I identified her team as a potential person that might be able to help me with fielding some questions and maybe working with somebody on her team to kind of figure out options for my sister's land that she has down there. So
Cool.
That's one person I've kind of pinpointed, and we'll see what else presents. Like I said, Florida seems to be popping up and it's never been on my radar before, so we'll see.
It's part of my evil plan to get everybody down here.
I'm afraid of the hurricanes and all that. Like, I don't want to, and the wildlife just walking you, like, what is with the tigers and the alligators just walking around like, you know?
Yeah, and there's a
it's
lot of
just-
snakes too.
Yeah, I'm not really into all that. They can have
We-
their,
We just put all that in the news to keep out the undesirables. It's
okay,
not,
well, I'll consider myself an undesirable because I don't want to be contested with that. If I go out and get my paper in the morning and be like, oh, hi, Mr. Alligator. Nice to
Mhm.
meet you." Not.
Get out.
we're on a first name basis. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Exactly.
yeah. Show and
All right,
tell.
so you might remember that I mentioned in a prior meeting that I want to keep up with you guys and that I've started to work on the 12-week program. So I got myself,
Yay!
I already have the 12-week year book,
Mhm.
and I went through it, and now I have the field guide, which has exercises and stuff like that. And Gina, a lot of the questions that you had us go through and what Gary talks about are also in here.
Which
You know,
one,
the-
out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Do you remember which one, out of curiosity?
So for example, like the new things that what I read last night that was like, oh, that is exactly what Gary was talking about, is talking about vision. So there is like the vision planning, process control, scorekeeping, and time use. And very poignant to last night was Vision fuels the 2-week year execution system, a compelling vision that aligns your personal and professional aspirations will help you take action, even when you may not feel like it. So it's exactly what you were saying, and to us for a while. And also to speaking about the course that you had us that you had for us recently, you Having for Success magazine.
Yeah.
It talks about greatness, and it may not line up exactly with what you said, but when I read that, it reminded me of the course with you, which is greatness can happen in an instant. The moment you choose to do something you need to do to be great, and each moment that you continue to choose to do something. So that means that you can choose to be great right at that moment, and and you will be great, and you are great. And also, let's see. Oh, yeah, this is exactly in line with what I remember you telling us. The following. Results are not the essence of your greatness. Your results are simply the confirmation of it. When I read that, I was like, that is so Gina. Gina told us that.
I love that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I might have gotten it from there. Who knows? I really liked the 4-hour work week and the 12-week work year, 12-week.
Or year.
Yeah. But 4-hour work week is so easy to say, but the 12-week work year does not roll off the tongue at all. Oh my gosh. My good news, I got a letter yesterday when I moved my daughter down here, I bought a chunk of land. I bought two. One had a mobile on it, and then the other one, we made them toss in this blank chunk of land right next to it if we wanted to close a deal on this, and they did. So I got it for free. Well, the neighbor on the left side of me, I don't know, one of the sides of me has 2 more chunks of land. And so she reached out, wrote a letter, and asked me to contact her. And so I'm gonna reach out very briefly today, but I'm gonna set an appointment up for like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And I just want to find out, can we do terms, kind of what's going on there? They're adjacent, so I would have 4 right there. And then that gives me some options. So I just want to kind of figure it out, but it's kind of cool. So we'll go from there. We'll see whatever that goes with. It should be dirt cheap, and dirt cheap is a great pun for buying land. I like that. So we'll see. All right. Who has some challenges? What do we got? We lost Bree, but I know she's gonna be coming back in a second.
Well, I don't have a challenge so much as I guess a comment. You know, I'm talking to other agents, and I talked to a agent yesterday. You know, we grew up together. We're like family. And he was at EXP briefly under me. He ended up going and opening his own brokerage
Mhm.
pre-pandemic. And so his little girl calls me all the time by mistake. You know, she's on Duo. I don't know why she calls my phone, right?
How old is she?
She's like 4.
Oh,
Yeah, so she calls my phone all the time. But anyway, I called back yesterday because she called me twice. And he answered, and he was like, "Hey, she must have called you." I was like, "Yeah, she's called me twice today." So I said, "Tell her Uncle Craig says hi." And he said, "Oh, she hears you." So anyway, he and I got into a conversation. I asked him, "How's business?" And he talked about how business is slowing down, and he's trying to continue to keep his agents motivated and all of this stuff. He says, "How's business for you?" I was like, "Oh, it's great." And he says, "Well, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just doing the normal, but I'm working with investors." I said, "You know, I'm finding that working with investors are keeping food on the table."
Mhm.
And I said, "What are you doing differently with your agents?" "Well, I'm just helping them get leads, and you know, I'm buying leads and you know, giving them out to them and stuff like this." And I was like, So
That's the death knell of a business, I'm telling you.
yeah. So I didn't get into it with him, but I just say that to say this: being on the GIA team is very good for me. And if we take advantage of the resources, we don't have to be those agents that's out there looking for leads and you know, talking about the market is bad, it's slowing down, and you know, all of that stuff. I came through the first, well, not the first, but the last downturn.
Our first, we can call it
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. So I was new then, and I listened to the news and listened to everything that was going on, and I just got stagnant. I didn't do a thing. And this
What
time
year
it's
was that, Craig, when you came in?
07.
Same year as me. What month,
Yeah.
out of curiosity?
Let's see, my son was born in May, so May.
April.
Yep.
Like the
No, I'm
last
sorry.
week-
I'm
week-
sorry, April.
Yeah.
April. I
Yeah,
came
right
in
after
April.
tax day, I came in, and so, yeah, that's pretty funny. Keep on going.
Yep. So I came in April. His birthday is April 27th. I came in right around the same time as his birthday, as he was born.
Mhm.
But anyway, you know, seeing that and sticking it out, and you know, the ups and downs and all of that throughout the years, this is nothing, you
I
know. I mean, it's something, but it's nothing compared to then, where it's like everything was at a standstill.
So let me ask you this. From that point, when we watched that whole thing crash in 07, 8, 9 to 10, 11, before it started to pull back out, at least where I was in Virginia, it started to pull out a little bit around the tail end of 11, beginning of 12, maybe. To this time, did you have fear that time? Do you not have it this time? Were you, like, where were you emotionally and mentally between that time and this time?
Yeah, totally in fear the last time. And also during that time, I didn't have, you know, good people around me in the business. I found Keller Williams. I stumbled upon them after a couple of agencies before. And that's when the light bulb kind of came on, because, you know, they did stuff so much differently
Mhm.
with education and all of that stuff, which I still didn't sell a ton of homes, but it showed me a different side of the business.
Mhm.
And then afterwards, I think now by knowing myself, knowing who I am, you know, and not having that same fear
Mhm.
is just, you know, it's totally different.
I agree with you 1,000%. So my path is so similar to yours, 2 companies and then KW in May of 09. And then my career took off because I finally understood and realized how you do business. And the thing that was so brilliant was my team leader was really working with us to do a shift in our business. And there was only 2 of us that did it. So one guy went after REOs, that was Jonathan Harper, and I went after short sales. That was it. We were the only 2 in an office of like 150 or 160, something like that went after it, that did what she said to do, is to go after where the business is. And there was a bunch of agents that were still like, I'm going to go after luxury because you can sell 10 of those and I only have to sell 1. Luxury is not selling, sweetie. So it's not going to happen. I will sell 100 to your 1 at this point, and then I've blown your numbers completely out of the water. So 2 of us did it, but then she also really, really worked with us. So one was go where the business is and go capture it. And she taught me to look for the sweet spot. And the sweet spot is we just analyzed, we broke down the business spreadsheet, 0 to 100,000, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, et cetera, and found where the most properties were selling, that price range. And that's what I targeted. And
Okay.
again, because she taught me, she's like, go where the business is, because if 100 houses are selling in the 1 to 200 range, and you know, only 1 selling in this range and 3 here and 17 here, go where it's easy. Just make your business easier for you. So I did that. But the other part that she taught me is she said to both Jonathan and I, she said, your business models will not work in an up market. Neither one of yours is going to work in an up market. It's only going to work in a down market. You have got to make sure that you capture the other side of the business. So we were listing. So we had to capture what we call orphan buyers. And what an orphan buyer is when I list this property and then PF, you bring me, well, no, that's another agent that's not good brings an offer in, and that's their buyer. They never market to that buyer once that house is done, ever. So I always marketed to that buyer. So we marketed to our seller for forever, and then we started marketing to that buyer, with very rare exceptions. When I knew the agent on the other side was amazing and did market, then I was like, you know what, I'm never going to get this person. It's just not going to happen. But 98% of what we did, we marketed those buyers also, because if you don't capture, because they're going to sell at that point, the shift was, or the rotation through properties was running about 7 years. It's now something a lot more like 10 years of the rotation, meaning I buy a house, I stay 10 years, I buy another one. But back then it was closer to 7. And for some starter homes, it's only 4 years. It's really low. So if your business model works really well in a bad market, you have to make sure that you've got something else capturing on the end for the really good market. That's why Gary's program works so well, because investors are the bad market. That's where investors are like, woohoo, what can I come out to play and buy some stuff? And then your regular residential or commercial, you know, non-investor owner occupant person, that person's in when the market's on that side. So there's when you have a business model that works in a bad market, it removes the fear. Once you know, oh, this is the trigger and the mechanism to go get new business in a bad market. This is the trigger and the mechanism. All I got to do is turn it on, and I know how it works. And then to your statement of doing the 12-week, you know, laying it out and then analyzing your numbers to that part, which was one of the last, you listed like 4 or 5 things in your 12 thing. One of the last ones was analyze your numbers. When you have that component done and you know the trigger and you know your numbers, then you know this is exactly what I have to do. This is how much it's going to cost me, if anything. This is how many hours it takes, or manpower it takes, or units I have to do, or whatever that number is, that metric is, to go get the business to make the money I want. And that's what Craig you're talking about. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just amazing to me where like, you know, during these last couple of years where the business was so good, where I'm seeing these agents closing, they're posting on Facebook every week, I'm closing, you know, thanks to my buyer and thanks to my seller and all of this. And I'm sitting back and, I'm closing a deal here and there. And, it wasn't like, I was never worried because I had money, I had income coming in. So it was like, I wasn't just, beating myself up or anything like that. I'm genuinely happy for them. But now I'm seeing like, you closed 30 transactions
Mhm,
and now you're saying you don't have any business.
mhm,
Like, that's crazy to me.
mhm.
I just don't see it. And they're complaining like, oh, where am I going to get business from? Leads, I need leads. I'm going to try this. I'm going to go and buy this lead system and this and that. And I'm like,
I'm
Sounds like they're really dependent on new leads all the time
Yeah.
instead of,
all the time.
because
all the time.
because a good market, if you've got a name out there, a good market, it comes to you. And a good market hides a pile of bad business. It
Mhm.
hides crazy, stupid expenses. It hires sloppy. It just does. A good market will hide a sloppy business. And a bad market forces you to get lean and mean and deliberate about your numbers and all those kinds of things. So in that aspect, a bad market is good because you have to get smart with your business. Most agents, 99% of them don't lead generate. They just flat out don't. The stuff comes to them when they have a good name. Even if they're a brand new agent, you can usually count what I've seen is about 4 deals a year will fall in your lap ish. And then when you get a name out there, the deals will just start to come to you. And usually if you push and push, it's usually right around your 3rd year, you'll start seeing business coming in that you're not generating at all. It just is coming in. But I'm not against buying leads. I'm against buying leads as a single agent who doesn't know how to lead generate. Buying leads is when I know all the triggers and how to run my business, and I know how to go get business, and I know how to feed agents off that business. And now I have such a big team that I need to get extra leads coming in to make sure that everyone's still staying busy. It's at that level. And then you can afford those costs of those leads.
Yeah.
Because it's just at that point, let's say you're giving 50% away to your buyer's agent, it costs you another 10% to generate those leads. And and then another 10% for the overhead to have that agent on. So you're still pulling 30% off of it. Well, it's a business decision at that point. Would I spend, 30%, would I spend 70% to get $1? Yeah, at that level I would. But in the beginning, when the margins are narrower because you don't have that volume there,
Mhm.
it's the kiss of death. So if you see agents buying leads, and they're single agents specifically, and we're talking like a team of maybe 10 or more. When you get to that size, these starts to make sense. That's the kiss of death. It just is. They'll go down. They'll literally go down.
And
So, go ahead.
like my friend that I'm talking about that has the brokerage, in his case, I can see you buying leads, but usually in that case, when brokers don't have a lot of agents, he has about 10 agents probably.
He's not making money.
No, he's
Mm-mm.
not. And usually when I see successful brokers doing it, they're doing the listings. They're
Yeah,
a heavy
exactly.
listing broker.
Uh-huh.
And then their agents are working the buyers.
Yep. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's not doing it.
So I ran Keller Williams offices, and here's the metrics and the numbers. 50 agents into an office, you're starting to turn a profit. Before that, you're really not turning a profit. And then 100 agents, you're starting to make some decent money. And around 150, you can start bringing in a lot of support staff, but you really can't afford really good support staff until you hit that 150-ish mark. And that's underneath Keller Williams business model, where the average agent is worth like maybe 25K for a cap coming in the door, which in the way that KW structured it, the the majority of that 25K when the company's smaller goes straight into the brokerage, does not go back out to the agents. So that's the metrics of what it takes to run an office and a business. So if you see a brokerage and they're 10 agents, 15 agents, 5 agents, 8, 16, whatever, trust me, they are not making money. They are primed to have the conversation with. Absolutely primed to have that conversation with, because they can do the same thing that they're doing underneath our business model and they can make money and not have, especially the way we've structured the team, and not have to deal with compliance, coaching, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yep. So you have to grow it big. And then the problem with growing it big is if you're the agent that started it, you're an entrepreneur and you like building and starting things, and you're stuck doing compliance, which you do not like, which is just pouring over contracts all day long. You probably are not wired that direction. So you're stuck with compliance. Or you go build your business only, listing side specifically, and your agents suffer because they're not getting really any coaching. You're tossing them the deals, which is actually bringing your income down because they don't have the coaching. You don't have the time to help them to get the conversion rates up. Or you recruit, and that's really all you have time to do, because you've got to get to that 100, 150 point. So people don't realize that when they open up a brokerage, what they're going into, which is why I always ask when someone wants to do that, why are you doing this? Why are you opening up a brokerage? I want to make money. Ain't gonna happen. It will take you, unless you just massively recruit and you don't make any money for a year or two and you're a kick-ass recruiter, then you can do it.
Mhm. Unless, and maybe if they have some type of unique niche,
Mm-hmm.
You're
right. That can work also.
Yeah, but just the normal brokerage, I think a lot of times it's people get into the business, they get their license and they aspire to be a broker.
Yes, because that's the what we think is the career path.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
we think, oh, you continue on, because it blows me away what people think about real estate, but continue on.
So I never aspired to be a broker. The reason why, I didn't want the responsibility.
Mhm.
I can operate and do business and be successful without all of the headaches and all of the extra that comes along with being a broker.
Because you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs don't want to do that stupid brokerage stuff. Compliance people love that. It's a different personality type.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and they're not usually the type that want to open up brokerages because they want a salary, 9 to 5, et cetera, et cetera. That's just how that person is wired. It's very different from how an entrepreneur is wired to go open up a brokerage. I did want my broker's license, but not to be a broker. I wanted my broker's license so I could put on my business card broker. So that when I was on listing appointments and someone said, by the way, are you interviewing other agents? Yes, I'm interviewing so-and-so. Oh, yep, they're a good agent. They're not a broker. Well, what do you mean? Well, with me, I'm an actual broker. There was nothing other than I took another test and paid an extra $100 a year or something like that. Like whoop-de-doo, right? But that's why I did. And which reminds me, everything I did, I figured out how to circle it around to use it on listings and leverage it on listings. I didn't care what it was. It got used for listings, and I turned all kinds of marketing inside out to go after and use it for listings. Why are you in the newspaper? I was in the newspaper because it got me listings. Why'd you do this? Because it got me listings, because it got me listings, because I could show, this is what I do. And that stuff went out on listing appointments. We took the back of our flyers and we listed every other property that we had. In the beginning, it was the company's properties that we had. And it just said, for current prices on these or any of our other listings, reach out or call, blah, 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 or whatever. And today I would have a few different ways to reach out, but that was what I had back then. And then it just had address. It had the street address, the city, bedroom, bathroom, square footage. That's it, no price. And it was just a raw list. And why do they do that? Well, you would think that you would do that to go show more buyers and get more buyers. And yes, it did get me buyers. Absolutely. I also took it on listing appointments, and I told every single listing, I'm like, look, I had copies of other people's flyers that I'd picked up, tons of them, so if I was up against a couple of big agents, I would go, here's their flyer. And they're like, wow, because it's all shiny and glossy and there's 18 million pictures and the price is all over it. And I'm like, here's my flyer. Now it was very simple, shiny, glossy, very simple, one page, unless it's luxury, and zero price. I said, and they would look at that and I would go, but here's the magic. On the back, your house is on 20 other listings around this town. And they'd be like, what? And again, it was to go get listings. It was to turn it around to show people, this is why I do this, is to, you know, so I go take the listings, you know, and this is what I do for your property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I first got my license, I was also thinking, oh, the next stepping stone would be getting my broker's license. And as I started learning more and more, as I started lining up, like Craig was saying, I don't, even though I'm kind of like compliance driven, that's part of my personality thing.
Mhm.
And and nowadays I really like I miss the idea of a regular salary.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want someone lording over me. Yeah, I don't like that part. So anyways, now I'm like, I don't want to go for a broker because of the responsibilities. But Gina, now you gave me the idea of like as a marketing tool.
Oh, she's a marketing. Tool, whatever it was. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they don't know. I put myself in the buyer's shoes. By the way, it's 9:15. Y'all got to go. By all means, go. Don't feel bad or anything. But I put myself in the lister's shoes and the buyer's shoes, and all the SRES and certified property income. Well, I don't know, blah blah blah. Whatever the dang. I don't. If I don't know what the alphabets are, how are they supposed to know what the alphabets are? Nobody cares. What alphabets do people know? PhD, doctor, DDS for dentist. They know that. They know those, and they know broker. I'm like, well, then fine, I'm going to go for broker.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did for multiple reasons. And then eventually in Washington State, they changed the law that said you could not have a team unless you were, first up in Washington State, they changed the law and said everybody's a broker. They're just called different types of brokers. And all of that is to the state to get more money. So now we can charge more money. That's all that is. And then they said if you were going to have a team, you had to be a managing broker or designated broker. Managing broker. You had to be a managing broker. So it's broker, managing broker, designated broker. And you had to be that. Well, I already was. So it was seamless when they passed that law. I didn't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
I love
North
that.
Carolina
I
is a
think
broker state.
Yes. Yep.
I'm
Yep.
putting it back on my list, and I will use your model of like how to implement this as a marketing tool to get me the listing.
Yeah.
Because you're right, Gina. People know, and that's why the word realtor gets banted around. And
Mhm.
for a long time, I was always correcting my friends and stuff like that. Like, oh, a realtor is
Before.
this, and
Uh-huh.
an agent is that.
Right.
You know, everybody's with a license is just an agent. You're
Yep.
not a realtor unless.
Right.
So now I'm like, yeah, but everybody uses realtor, and everybody knows broker.
Yes,
So I
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
And if I have to explain something to everybody, that means that it's not known. Like if I have to say, this is what a PhD is blah, 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 then it's not known. Now, we don't have to do that because everybody knows what a PhD is. But if I have SRES and I have to explain it to everybody, senior, I don't know, real estate, who knows, senior, whatever. But if I don't have to explain it, it can just be there, then I'm going to use that all day long. All day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first broker here at EXP, Jim Gerard, I'm in his downline, matter of fact. So he took all of his titles off, except for broker. He was like, they don't mean nothing. He was like, the consumer has no idea what it is. He says, you know, he didn't even renew them anymore.
I don't think they're worth the money.
Yeah.
I really don't. I just don't. I mean, there's good information. It's very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was the first one I heard say that, you know. So he was like, nah, I'm not gonna continue marketing that on my cars because none of the consumers know what they are.
Yep. Speaking of marketing, this is such an interesting subject. So we're building a piece Ava and I are building, okay. My idea, Ava's building it. Let's just be real honest here. Not building it for the team that has a graphic of some sort that has our team and then the other main brokerages, including like a flat fee brokerage. And Gary walked through it also. And Gary was like, change this to green check marks, Gina. Don't put, I had boxes, X's going down. He goes, no, change it to green check marks. Green means money. And I'm like, that's very good. We're building some marketing pieces like that for the team. Once those get built, and to be really honest, she's got a couple other priorities like far ahead of that. But once those get built, we'll share that with the team. The team can use it for the team, but also take it and do it for you personally, for your area. Do those kinds of things for you guys so that you guys have that. For the team, it's great for recruiting purposes to be able to put it out there. For you personally, it's great on listing purposes to be able to have some of those marketing pieces with you or on your computer, easily accessed when you're on appointments and you're talking with people. I personally did, I had everything on the computer, but I also had I brought a briefcase with me and it had some stuff in it. So if anyone brought up a question that pertained to that particular style of marketing, I just pulled that out so that as I'm talking to them, they also have something in front of them on a graphic, or I would put it on my computer if people were younger now, because the people believe the stuff on the computer when they're younger. When they're older, they believe it if it's on paper. But I wanted them to have that and have that with them so that they could keep it's impressive when you have stuff like that. It's like, this is what we do. This is what other people do. They don't do any of this stuff. This is what we do. It's all this stuff. So building out that, changing some of Gary's other stuff. But when we get it done, I'll share it with you guys also, so you guys can take and pull and do whatever you want to with it and make it your own. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. All right.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool beans. Okay, you guys, anything else? Craig, good subject.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. All right. Anything else, y'all? Going once, going twice. All right. Have an amazing day. I will see you guys tomorrow. And then Thursday I will be from home. Friday I will be on the road, but I'll still be leading the class because we're going to go down to the Keys this weekend, because I said that we're going to do 1 weekend a month where we take off, and this is our weekend that we're taking off. So
Nice.
no, never done the Keys. And my husband, I told him we knew we were going to a concert, which the concert's Thursday night. So West Boca Raton, concerts in Boca Raton. So I told him, I said, this weekend we're at the Keys. He goes, what? And I'm like, this weekend when we're at the Keys. He goes, what are we doing in the Keys? I go, well, we're going to be in Boca Raton anyway. We're going to go to the Keys. He's like, are we? I'm like, yes. We'll arrange that. We're doing that. So I kind of forgot to tell him, but we're on board now.
Which key are you going to be in?
Pardon me?
Which one of the keys are you going to be
I've
on?
never done any of them. So my plan is
Sure.
Friday morning to lead the meeting and then drive us all the way down south and just stop in the very end and then meander our way back up over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
I did hear the park that's down there. I can't remember what the name of it is. It starts with T, like TOR or something or other. It's at the beginning of the Keys.
for Tortugas,
Yeah, that one.
I don't know anything about it. I literally know the name Duck Key and Key West, and you just said Tortuga, which I'm a pirate lover, so that's why that came out.
It's I think it's closed down because there was a bunch of refugees come in.
Oh,
So I've heard that just recently, so it may be still affecting everything.
all right.
So how far of a drive?
From Boca Raton down, Greg said 5, maybe 6 hours, unless there's mass traffic, and then it can be as long as 8 from Miami down. And Boca Raton's pretty close to Miami.
Okay.
It just depends, and I'm hoping that Friday morning that the traffic doesn't start until Saturday. That's what my hope is.
Yeah.
And so I want to be on that end, working my way back up. And then when Greg and I travel, a lot of times we do road trips to nowhere. And what we'll do, like when I lived in Virginia, we had 5 days because of holidays, and I took 2 extra days off. So we took the first day and we drove as far north as we possibly could. So we went up way past Bangor, Maine. I don't even know where the hell we ended up, but way up. We just bat out of hell as hard as we can to get to as far as we can. And then the next 4 days, we just meander our way down and we literally stop at, oh, look, it's the world's biggest frying pan. Let's go check it out or whatever, you know? So, and that's our road trip to nowheres. And they're my favorite because there's no time. There's no, I have to be at this place or I have to be at that place. There's just like, look at this cool thing I stumbled upon. Wow. You know, like on that particular trip, we were coming down through Boston and there's this huge street festival thing. And I was like, oh, drop me off and go park the car. And so Greg dropped me off and he called me up. It was my first time in Boston, PF, my first time in Boston. And he called me up after he parked the car. He goes, okay, where are you? And I looked up, I'm like, I'm in front of a brown building. And he busted up laughing. He goes, can you look around you?
They're all brown buildings.
All right. The band is playing this, you know? Yeah, it was pretty dang funny. But so, yeah, we never know where we're going to end up, what we're going to do. And that's how we've traveled through Europe, all over the United States. We've done that, just road trips to nowhere. I highly recommend them.
Yeah.
Pack
Yeah,
up.
if you're in the Boston area, there are two landmarks you should not describe by. I'm near the Dunkin' Donuts or in the corner of a brown building.
Never
That's
gonna work. It's like Seattle, I'm at a Starbucks. There's literally a place, it was actually in LA where there were 4 corners and 3 had Starbucks. 3 of the 4 corners had Starbucks. And they all made it. So it's nuts. Yep. All right, y'all. Have a fabulous day. See you tomorrow.
You
Thank
as
you.
well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.